Hello, I welcome you all to this wonderful lesson, and in this particular lesson, this is a question that I want us to revise through. This is a biology falling under movement, and in this particular question, the first question is falling under diffusion. The question is saying define diffusion. This one is very simple. Those of you that do chemistry, physics, you are able to answer this one. Just the same definition where we say diffusion is just the process or the movement of particles from a region of higher concentration. So from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration across a concentration gradient. This is what you are supposed to know and understand. So I just want us to discuss through these questions together. So each time you are talking about diffusion, we just get to talk about the movement of particles from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration across a concentration gradient. This is what you are supposed to understand. There is more to that. You need to understand a lot. So even as I'm revising through this with you, after this particular lesson, you go through your notes so that you have a concrete understanding. We move to this other question. Identify the process whereby plants take in ions from the soil. So they want you to identify the process. So they want you to identify what? The process by which plants would take in soil. So plants would take in soil from, plants would take in ions from the soil. So that process by which you discover that when you water your plants, plants are able to take in those ions from the soil. Have you seen? So there is the name that is given to that process by which a plant will take in ions from the soil. That process is called active transport. This is what you need to understand. It is called active what? Active transport. So each time you get to think of a process by which some ions, some nutrients are taken from the soil, that process is called active transport. Then this question is saying define the process named in 1. So this active transport. What is active transport? Before we give a definition, you need to understand that the way active transport happens, this one is against that. So you now discover that whenever we talk of active transport, we are now talking about a process by which energy is used to move particles of a substance against a concentration gradient. Diffusion was across a concentration gradient. This one, active transport, is against. So we are saying that the process by which energy is used to move particles of a substance against a concentration gradient. This one is against a concentration what? Gradient. So we are talking about energy. So energy being used to move particles against a concentration gradient. So this one is against what? Against a concentration gradient. This is what you are supposed to understand. This one is against a concentration gradient. So active transport, the process by which energy is used to move particles of a substance against a concentration gradient. You now understand that these are able to move from a region where we've got lower concentration to a region where we've got higher concentration. Like I've told you that this is against that. This diffusion is from higher to lower, but active transport is from lower to higher. This is the reason I've said this one is against a concentration gradient. Energy is being used to move particles of a substance from a region of lower to higher. This is what you need to understand. There is a lot under active transport. So after this particular lesson, go through your notes, study more on this. You might not know questions that will come in your exams. We now go to this question. The process in 1, the process active transport occurs only in living cells. Why is it that the active transport only occurs in what? Living cells. Why is it like that? So I want you to understand that active transport occurs in living cells. Occurs in living cells because you discover that living cells are able to respire. Have you seen? Are able to what? To respire. This is the reason why. They are able to breathe. So the reason why active transport occurs only in living cells, it is because these living cells are able to do what? To breathe. So now the reason is that when this thing is happening, so we are talking about what? Respiration. The reason why it occurs in living cells is because there is a process that gets to take place in living cells called respiration. You now discover that during respiration, that energy is set free and part of this energy is used in active transport. This is the reason why the reason why active transport only occurs in living cells. So this is what I just wanted to discuss with you. I guess you've gotten one or two things. This is where we are going to end from. So this is your brother and your friend, Tutor Addison Zulu. So if you want tuitions, you can contact me on this number. We are here to help you get a distinction in your subject. This is my WhatsApp number. So you can WhatsApp me on this number. This is 0971 066747. This is my number. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.